speed.
Nothing said here is going to be that important either. Let's be real.
Oh, you don't know my ego very well, my friend. Everything I think I say is important.
I know. It's weird.
We've seen things that no one has seen before.
We've seen things out there.
We've seen things that most people could never understand.
And we've seen things too.
You don't know, man. You weren't there.
You'd be surprised the likes of which we have seen. Don't be so quick to say everything's the likes of which we haven't seen. We've seen things the likes of which you probably haven't seen yourself.
Is that a challenge?
Spoilers for the film Civil War, house and soft spoilers for the Star Wars movies.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Matt. I'm here with Zach. Zach, say hello.
Hello, Matthew.
Hey. We're two indie filmmakers who co-founded the Breakneck Film Race, a quarterly film race encouraging like-minded folks to experiment and hone your craft by producing a short film within the span of a week. It's stressful, but so gratifying. In addition to that, we started a podcast called We've Seen Things, which is what you're watching / listening to right now, where we talk about movies we've seen and then some. Today, we are joined by a very, very close and dear friend to us, Brian Rubin. Welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, it's an honor to be here. I've been pestering you guys for months to get me on as a guest, and here I am. You did it.
Yeah.
This is where the podcast takes a downhill turn, guys. It was good. You had a good run. It's a wrap.
It's a pretty quick downhill turn. We're only on episode 8, so
That's all you need, man. You didn't even get to the double digits yet.
Damn. Yeah, I've heard episode 7 is the one that is a curse to podcasters, and if you can overcome 7, then you're good to go. But no, Ruben comes in with the fatal 8.
Also, it's something to mention that we all went to the same film school.
We did.
Yeah, it was actually Ruben that introduced me to Zach way back when.
I guess I did. Yeah, because we all kind of met around sometime in sophomore year.
Except for me and Brian. Me and Brian met when we were fucking children. But other than
Good
that,
point. I skipped over that part.
Yeah, you both go way back. I remember we had a cinematography class. I won't get too into the weeds of this, but Brian and I were paired up. And Brian, you were directing. I was your actor. And
yes.
We did Hose Down.
Hose Down.
Hose Down is so good.
Honestly, it holds up great.
I think so. Well, it's because you have Saul DPing it. Rest in peace, Saul Negrin.
Also, there's that. Also, you guys want to know a fun little 6-degree separation? I worked with Saul's son, Mike, about a year or two ago, and I talked to him for like 20 minutes, and he's awesome. Great dude, Mike Negrin.
Nice.
Is he a DP, or is he like...
He's a DP, yeah. He's cool as hell.
How's he doing?
I don't know. That was a year ago. I don't have his phone number. Actually, I do have his phone number, but he probably wouldn't answer. Why would he answer? He probably forgot about that conversation. He's an important guy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just some dipshit juicer who, took a class with his dad years ago.
Yeah, from there we just, I don't know. We all just became buddies, living on each other's couches for a bit.
You know what's really funny?
What?
So, long story, quick story. There's this Asian alcohol called Baijiu, and it's like Everclear. It's like the Chinese answer to Everclear. We're with our other friend Keelan, who's a visual effects artist, by the way. Not that matters, but she's like, this reminds me of Devil Springs. I'm like, oh. What? The only time I've ever been around Devil Springs is I was showing up to a party at our film school, or hosted by someone at our film school. And Ruben brings Matt out, and I was just getting out of work. I was dead sober. By the time I walk into the party, Matt's walking up the stairs puking. He's like, I just did some shots of Devil Springs. Yeah. And Brian's like, he's done. He's fucking KO'd for the day.
Dude.
I'm like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Like, the party hasn't even started yet. I don't know. It's just... It's the only time I've ever seen anyone drink Devil Springs, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking wild. Yeah. Well, with that, let's just get ourselves back on track here. We've got a cool movie that Brian recommended to us. A movie that I guess has been near and dear to your heart for quite some time.
Yeah, the first time I watched it was in 2020 during the pandemic. My friend brought it over and made me and my buddy Julian watched it, and we were hooked, and I've loved it ever since.
And what's that movie, Brian?
It's called House. Directed by Nobuyuki Obayashi. And I said his first name completely wrong, but his last name is Obayashi. Came out in 1977. It's a cult classic in America. It did okay in Japan, did big business in Japan, but it's a big cult classic in the U.S.
That's so cool. Well, before we get into that, Zach, my pal, do we have any film news to discuss today?
Certainly do, my friend.
We've seen things that no one has seen before. You can't take that away from us.
So just a couple of things that stuck out to me over recent kind of last week or two. You see all that shit about 28 Years Later?
Yeah.
I heard of it.
Coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it was shot on an iPhone 15 or something like that. I think it was an iPhone 15. Yeah, it was iPhone 15 Max.
Oh, that's real? I thought that was a meme.
No.
Oh my god, what are they doing?
I mean,
Well, the first one was shot on the XLR, right?
Canon XL1.
Canon
So I kind of respect the fact that they're going like the first one was shot on like zero budget, not a zero budget camera, but like a very like something that a film student could get their hands on.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they're for the new one Danny Boyle is doing. He's also using something, but in a more modern sense that anyone could get their hand, another filmmaker, a film student could get their hands on.
Yeah.
So people are getting all worked up about it, like yeah, blah blah blah. But I do kind of find it interesting that it has to be something to do with like how the first one was shot with like a no budget camera. Now the second one's being shot with a no budget camera. Although the iPhone 15 Max is probably way more expensive than the Canon XL1 ever was, to be honest.
I don't know,
The
actually.
image quality is probably light years better than the Canon.
Oh, I'm sure
for
it is.
sure. But wait, was 28 Weeks Later also shot like with a camera like that?
So 28 Weeks Later is actually a different director. I forget the director's name. Except Danny Boyle directed the opening of 28 Weeks Later, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and then
that was a really good opening.
And then the rest of the movie kind of sucked because it wasn't directed by Danny Boyle.
One of the best.
Yeah, I have all the faith in Danny Boyle. I think he's a fucking incredible director. Most every one of his movies he's put out, I've like adored.
Doesn't have a lot of duds. Did he do Slumdog?
He did
Yeah, he
Slumdog.
did.
Yep.
He did Slumdog, okay.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like stick to one type. He's not like Guy Ritchie who just makes like goofy crime movies, which I love. He kind of like he did that on the Sex Pistols miniseries, which I thought was awesome a couple years ago.
Yeah, he did that. He also did Yesterday, which was completely out of left field, like the world where the Beatles don't
exist.
exist.
He's a genre hopper.
Yeah.
And Danny Boyle is directing 28 Years Later?
Danny Boyle's directing 28 Years Later.
He directed it. It's wrapped, right?
I think it's wrapped. Yeah. So I hope that Cillian Murphy. I know he's making a comeback for the film. I hope he's the main, star. I have a feeling they're gonna go like the next generation of people surviving, like how they do with every fucking. It's like a soft reboot almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, I think Alex Garland, the guy who wrote the original, and he became a director, who I really like. I think he wrote the script. So
Oh, cool.
Although I just saw his last movie, he made Civil War, wasn't the biggest fan to be honest. But
Oh, really? Oh, I loved it.
really, there was like I thought there'd be way more of like a story to it. It was just not spoiler alert, sorry, but
I'm not gonna watch it. So.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could get into it another episode. But I've heard people's criticisms of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the actors. I like a lot of the sequences, but like it just felt very like shallow. Like there wasn't like much like character
Style over
growth or-
substance type of deal. Like
Kind
it's
of,
cool.
yeah.
It has cool music, but like nothing important really happens.
I mean, important shit happens, but
it happens. It just goes to the beat of its own drum. Like it's not like
Sure.
it has its own path of progression, and you know exactly how it starts and ends from the first 5 minutes. Well, obviously you know how it starts, but from the beginning you kind of know how it's going to end.
Yeah, it's like one of those things.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you're kind of just there for the journey.
It's like Lord of the Rings. Like eventually he's gonna fucking destroy the ring, right? That's how it kind of goes.
Yeah.
My thing is, and I've been saying this for years, predictable isn't always bad.
I agree.
When you watch like I don't know a World War II movie, you know the Nazis are gonna lose. You know what I mean? Like,
The trailer for Bong Joon-ho's new movie, Mickey 17, came out.
Oh wait, he's doing that?
Yeah. So yeah, Mickey 17 trailer dropped. Tonal wise, way different than what I expected. I expected it to be kind of like a serious, like suspense sci-fi.
No,
the trailer made it look like it was like a fucking, like
Comedy.
a dark sci-fi comedy or something like that. Which
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with. I have again all the faith in Bong Joon-ho, obviously, and Robert Pattinson, to be honest.
dude, put those two together.
I'm very excited for that. And then I saw they're making a RoboCop series.
Which
Who's
I-
making a
or
Robot Cup
animated?
series? I want to know.
Yeah.
I made by Peter Ocko as the showrunner, or Oko. He's a white dude. The only other thing he's ever done, created-wise TV show, is a show called Moonhaven, and it looked
Never heard of
fucking
it.
terrible. It looked like it was on like CBS.
The
or
Tubi
something
movie?
like that. Yeah, like and even worse than a Tubi movie.
Oh my god.
But hold on. but James Wan is the EP. So maybe,
Hey, maybe.
but you know, it's
Why
because
can't they just leave things alone?
well, I'll tell you I'll tell you exactly why they can't leave it alone, because that was an MGM property, and in 2022, Amazon bought MGM properties.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. We're gonna be seeing more of this stuff then, huh?
Amazon is just gonna probably take every single fucking piece of IP and just Amazon Prime show, Amazon Prime show, Amazon Prime
Yeah.
show. They're just gonna I mean,
They already did that with if you're familiar with Tom Clancy, they have a show called Jack Ryan, which is Harrison Ford is Jack Ryan. End of story. Or Alec Baldwin. That's it. I actually heard that show wasn't bad, but still, like, you know.
they're just gonna take everything and just throw it at the wall.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wasn't Tom Cruise Jack? Or I'm thinking of a different
He was
guy.
Jack Reacher. Different Jack.
Jack
Different
Reacher.
Jack.
Sorry, my
Different
bad.
Jack, yeah. Harrison Ford is Jack Reacher in Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games, and Alec Baldwin is Jack Ryan in Hunt for the Red October.
Gotcha.
It's a good fucking
And Ben
movie.
Affleck is Jack Ryan in some movie that I can't remember the name of because it's not as good as the other three.
Mallrats.
It's like that.
No, and Moretz is awesome.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it's not.
Moretz and Red State are Kevin Smith's two best movies.
He's got a new movie out, 4:30 movie. Actually, looks pretty good. I kind of want to see it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
him growing up because I actually heard
Yeah.
he was on, if you're a fan of Theo Von, like me and Zach are, he was on Theo Von's show talking about it. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I like Kevin
Yeah.
Smith.
He wouldn't shut the fuck up about the Celsius. So I'm like, dude, get over the fucking Celsius.
That's when I tuned out. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I like Celsius too, but it's like, it's not an ad.
I know.
You're not getting paid to talk about it. Shut up.
And then there's some other stuff. Last thing I'll say is, well, real quick, there's a. Have you guys heard of the White Dragon cut of Blade Runner?
No.
No.
So apparently, there's this. I think he's Japanese. There's this dude that's like a mega fan that recuts Blade Runners according to like the original scripts, like adding in all these extra scenes, restoring all these things. There's a new version that's coming out of the White Cut edition. According to, there was a guy that wrote a book called Future Noir. Like a lot of changes were made in the editing of the film. So this guy's restoring all the things back to the original script. He's adding in a bunch of like deleted scenes, restored them. And then also there's like a bunch of scenes that were never shot. And he has like one of the original artists that created a lot of the artwork for the film doing artistic renditions of those scenes with voiceovers and stuff. I don't know. It looks fucking cool. I'm going to definitely check it out when it comes out.
Wait, this is not sanctioned by the Warner Brothers, right? This
I
is
don't
gonna be
think
fan
so.
edit.
Yeah, I mean, apparently he makes a lot of them. They're called the White Dragon editions or something like that, or the White Dragon cuts.
Shit, I
It's
wanna check those
interesting.
out.
I mean, if it's better than the original, then
I'm excited to see it because I'm a big Blade Runner fan.
he's doing it just because for love of the game, basically, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I think people buy it or donate to him, whatever. But yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I'm sure he has some sort of, a Patreon of some kind.
Fascinating stuff. I'll have to check it out sometime. Frankly, I would love for somebody to adapt the actual book far more faithfully. Like, I could respect Ridley Scott's creative decision making to like make Blade Runner separate from the book, but like, I don't know. There's something very compelling about the book that I feel like wasn't touched upon in the film.
Which book? Because I believe they own the rights to. There's a book called Blade Runner, and then there's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
But
But
the latter.
the word
I
Blade
didn't-
Runner sounds way cooler than Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is why they used it. And they did the same deal with Carlito's Way, and there's another book that stars that character Carlito, which the movie Carlito's Way is based on the other book, which might just be called Carlito. I don't even know, but
Well, I never knew there was a book called Blade Runner, to be honest.
Well, so what I heard is that in Android's Dream Electric Sheep, they get the term Blade Runner from another book, which I actually don't know what the other book was. Could be called just Blade Runner.
it is, and it's about like the military industrial complex and like how the world is like kind of perpetually in war, sort of like in 1984. And a Blade Runner is a type of soldier who just has to like run through the trenches or some shit. It's nuts.
I heard they run with blades on their feet, like literally. I heard that's what it was.
Yeah, I think it's something stupid like that.
I love like this like lore kind of shit.
War is fun, man. I'm a fan of war.
Yeah, and
The
then
Blade Runner by Alan E. Norse. Norse? Interesting.
then lastly, Infowars is being liquidated to pay for the.
You think that's funny? You think it's funny? Huh?
I don't think that's movie news, but
It's
I
a
did
TV
hear
show.
about that.
It's a TV show.
Is it a narrative? I guess it's a narrative.
Well, it's a TV show. It's
Definitely
definitely
a
a narrative.
It's one man's narrative who's right a lot of the time.
Okay. Well, there's the cancellation.
There's the news. All right. Moving
Dude,
on.
we're not gonna have enough listeners to cancel. Don't worry. You gotta make money to get canceled, boys.
I've heard other things too. Plenty of other things. Strange, funny noises. And we've seen things too.
So I first saw this movie 2020, in the midst of COVID lockdown, and it kind of, I don't know, when I first saw it, it really reminded me of one of my favorite films, Evil Dead 2, and I'm like, it's kind of goofy and slapstick. It's, it's the old, oh, we're gonna go camping in my, my aunt's cabin in the woods. It'll be great. Nothing bad will happen, and like everything bad happens. But what is cool about the movie is the director. So I'm gonna pronounce his name right this time. Nobuhiko Obayashi, his daughter, who I think was 11 or 12 at the time, helped him write the movie, which gives it like a fresh set of eyes, and like it kind of has I feel like there's elements of like a kid show in it, because like some of the backgrounds are clearly painted, and like the soundtrack is like very upbeat and kind of reminds me of the Beatles, I guess. And I don't know, it's just like it's its own world. Yeah, good.
How old was the daughter that helped write it?
I think she was 10.
Yeah, 10 in that, fifth grader.
Okay, that's starting to make a lot more sense now.
Yeah, because it's like it really gives the film, I think, a fresh set of eyes, like I said. And also, I believe it was Obayashi's directorial debut, because the system in Japan at the time, he worked for Toho, which also put out all the Godzilla movies back in the day. They had like a tier system where you had to work as an assistant director, and then they let you direct eventually. But what I think happened is this movie was so wacky, everyone's like, yeah, go ahead, direct it. Like, we don't want this. And I think it kind of ended up being like a runaway hit.
So he actually directed a movie, real quick. He directed a movie before this called Emotions, I believe, and I think it came out in like the 60s sometime. But I think it was just
that was like a short.
It was an hour and 11 minutes.
Oh, it was? Okay, because I have it on this DVD, never watched it.
Oh, really? On the Blu-ray? That's cool. Yeah, I think it's just like a montage of like girls looking at the camera, like, oh, being Japanese. You know what I mean?
That doesn't really all right, but that's.
You're right.
This is his warm up.
This is his narrative directorial debut, if you can even.
There we go. That's a good way of putting it.
If you can even consider this a fucking narrative, to be honest. But yeah, it's his narrative directorial debut.
Okay. There's that word again. Anyway, but like nothing. I've never seen anything like this before. Since you know what I mean. There's not like a remake of House. There's nothing that's as off the wall as House. I think all the death scenes very original. I love the watermelon salesman. The watermelon salesman cracks me up. Yeah, like the soundtrack. The soundtrack fits, that creepy piano that kind of rolls throughout, most of the movie. The cat, who actually, if you think about it, I'd say the teacher, I think Mr. Tobu, I believe is his name, he's the real villain of the story.
Really?
Because if you think about it at the beginning, all the girls except for Gorgeous is supposed to hang with her dad and his new wife, which she's not having that. The other 6 girls are supposed to go to Mr. Tobu's cabin, which, if you're a teacher, what are you bringing a bunch of girl students alone in the woods for? And then all of a sudden his sister gets pregnant, like out of nowhere? The fuck's that about? And because of that kind of throws the timeline off. And then all the girls end up at Auntie's mansion out in the country and all get slaughtered. So really, I think the teacher, we'll call him Mr. Tobu. He's the real villain of the story.
I think it's Togo. Togo.
Something with a T. But anyway, Mr. T, he's the real villain. And he gets his just due at the end.
I will say he is quite bananas.
Yeah,
oh.
Hey, I'm gonna kill myself.
No, that was great.
Yeah,
Zach, what do you think? You're a fan. I made you watch this movie, I think. Right?
So this is the second time I've ever watched the movie. I had the same reaction of like it's insane. Right off the bat, it reminded me so much of Sam Raimi, like you said, like Evil Dead 2. Yeah. I was like, he must have gotten such inspiration from this movie.
Well, you know what? This movie didn't really get shown in America until like 2009.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, well, because I looked it up because I thought the same thing, and I was like, oh, damn it, it's not true. But it definitely is very Raimi-esque, I guess.
Absolutely.
Well, I was
in a Japanese way.
I was gonna say this is funny because it's like we're getting into like the Halloween season. So like, what better way to start off the spooky season than like a teenager getting ripped apart by a fucking piano, a Japanese teenager, and her severed limbs just floating around, and some boobs, and she
a severed. It's like a frame of boobs just kind of floating in the water, and like that was one of those things when I watched it. I'm like, whoa, wait. Oh yeah, okay, there we go.
Oh man,
I wanted to
And-
make sure what I was seeing.
And so the director Obayashi, I'm gonna call him, he claims that it's the first Japanese film to use visual effects, or like a VFX, I guess, because of all the.
Called Godzilla.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I
Well,
think
maybe
I could have misread that.
Screen? Was there
Maybe,
blue screen
yeah.
in the
There is
original?
a lot of chroma work in this movie because, like, the
Oh,
scene
yeah.
where the girl's face falls out and it's like a mirror with flames. That's chroma
Yeah.
keying, right?
Oh, totally. Well,
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot of backdrops that were chroma keyed out.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. And when the piano murder's going on, like that's
Yeah, like
another
her hand
example.
pops up, but it's like
Yeah,
missing
and you can
fingers.
just see all the
Scene is
particles.
So good, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Her just getting ripped apart by a piano.
So
it's wild.
I love the introduction to all the characters.
Yeah.
Like, and they're
That's like a TV show to me. It's like
Yeah.
gorgeous, fantasy, sweet, melody,
kung
kung fu.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. So another thing that stuck out is the watermelon salesman or farmer, watermelon farmer. He's kind of like the horror movie trope of the guy that works at the gas station.
Yeah.
Exactly. Except he works at a watermelon stand, but close enough.
Yeah.
But this came out in 1977, so there really wasn't many before that. Like, what's the only like it was like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in like 74. So like
Yeah, but and I maybe I don't even know, did they have that in Japan at the time? I hope so. It's a great movie.
I mean, this trope feels way too familiar to just be a coincidence to like
Yeah.
every guy that works at a gas
Doomsday
station.
guy, like, don't go down that road down there.
You don't go down that route. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I love the fact that like fucking bananas are his like weakness just by saying he wants bananas.
Oh, I want bananas, and then it cuts back to him, and he's just a pile of bananas. In the car.
Bananas in the car.
It's wild. Yeah.
The fuck
No,
good.
fruit is a big trope in this movie. Also,
Yeah.
another great scene. It's towards the beginning. The teacher, he's rushing to get his car, and he falls down the stairs.
The
And he
bucket.
ends up getting stuck in the
Oh,
bucket, and then it
yeah.
cuts back to the girls. It cuts to him, and someone's like playing drums on the bucket.
It's fucking
There's
nuts.
no reason for it to be in there, but it's awesome.
Yeah, there's like moments. It's like a dementia patient that has like moments of like, and then goes back to. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
I'll tell you what the fuck. I bet that's young Miss Obayashi. I believe that's her handiwork.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna because like remember like she's a young kid. She's probably like, oh, let's have him fall down the stairs, like get stuck in a bucket. That sounds like something a little kid would say. I don't know.
And I love that nobody quality checked that at all. They're like,
Nope.
That's
They're
what
like
we're
rubber
doing.
stamp it, put it in, leave it in.
That scene reminded me of the scene when I mean, we're getting into spoiler territory, of course. This movie came out in 1977. That's fine. When Mac's head comes out of the well and bites Fantasy's ass or whatever it was.
Butt work in this movie. Now that you mention it, yeah, the melon head is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I you could tell from the beginning she was going to be the first to go too.
Always, yeah. She's the chatty Cathy of the group.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Mac, you sure look tasty, being round and all. I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Victim
yeah.
number one.
I think this creepiest line in the beginning was when Auntie says, I was lonely, but now I have many young girls in my house. I'm like, okay, Diddy. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, she's a lonely old bag. Her husband died in the war. She never, she just stuck around and gave piano lessons, allegedly.
And she's like guilt tripping her fucking niece, being like, I was waiting for your letter. It's like, bitch, you could have sent her a letter too. You know what I mean?
You could have. Also, they have phones in Japan in 1977. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't that how they called in the guy?
The phone was out of order.
The phone in the village might have been out of order. Did you notice they do the old gag where like every time she, munches on one of the girls, she gets a little younger, kind of like.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with another one of my favorite horror films, Bram Stoker's Dracula, every time Gary Oldman bodies somebody, he gets younger and better looking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see that iteration.
Well, you should, because it's nuts.
I don't know, like, especially in 1977, I don't know, like, the Japanese, like, traditional, like, ghosts and ghouls in their movies. So, like, I don't know if this is supposed to be, like, a zombie or a vampire or, like, a...
The lady in white, like, the lady in all white in, like, a wedding dress is a trope of Japanese folk horror. And I think it's called, like, an oni. That's, like, a Japanese ghost.
Oh, what was that movie? The Wailing? Didn't The Wailing have something similar?
The Wailing is a Korean movie. You might be thinking The Ring, the girl has a white dress.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Also, in Dark Water, I think the girl also has a white dress on, which also you guys should check out Dark Water. It's awesome. Not the American one, the Japanese one.
The first moment that actually broke my brain, because I started watching it Tuesday. No,
Which
yeah,
there are
Tuesday
many in
night
this
when I was
film.
going to
There's
sleep.
many.
There's many, but the first one that actually like confused me was it was in the first scene, and it was the picture-in-picture thing where the girl's like posing.
You look like a witch.
And then she takes it off, and then she walks out of a frame into what was the larger frame.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
They start off hot with this one, man.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. The fact that they have to, the fact that this guy feels almost obligated to do something weird with the composition, whether it's on camera or in post, makes me wonder, like how much of this was discovered in post, like a lot of these editing techniques. I know they have cheesy things like the barn door effect, when they're like going when they reach the mansion, but also like how much of this was considered like stylistically too wild for the Japanese audience back then, because I imagine they've had different sensibilities when it comes to wacky entertainment even then, but I feel like this feels groundbreaking in that sense.
I'm gonna say I've seen Japanese television here and there. This is not too out of the norm from what I've seen. I mean, granted, all the stuff I've seen is much later, so maybe this inspired even some of it. A lot of weird transitions, weird things on the screen, weird like whip pans and all this kind of shit. But there are parts of the movie that almost outdo itself of weird and wackiness. Specifically, like the montage of Auntie when she goes into the fridge and then she's dancing with the skeleton.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I'm just like, what the fuck? And I've seen it before. I'm still like, what the fuck is going? Like, what the fuck? Like,
then how do they kill the the skeleton just falls down at some point until he collapses. I forget why exactly.
The bananas guy.
The bananas. The bananas is the antidote.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, but the skeleton's grooving when Melody's playing the piano, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It kind of it reminds me of that old Disney cartoon with the spooky skeletons and like one using the other one for a xylophone. It's kind of the Japanese live action version of that, I guess.
And then
there's a lot of cartoon elements in this movie come to life, I think.
Yeah, there are,
and
for
a lot
sure.
of like strange things that they did practically, such as like there's that really wide shot looking down where one of the characters is looking for the cat, and they're like, let's just put this cat on a roof and hope it doesn't die when it falls off.
Yeah, I wonder how many cats were in the making of the film. I mean, the cat looks the same throughout. Maybe it was the same cat.
Maybe, but even then,
how do you train a cat? Because it's one thing to have the Bond guy turn around and petting the cat, but it's a whole different animal to have the cat go on the train. To have the cat be knocking stuff over. You know what I mean? That probably took all day to do that.
They literally at one point just throw the cat onto someone's lap from off camera.
Exactly. Yeah, you're probably some dude on the ladder ready, 3, 2, 1, go.
And the cat meowing the fucking theme or the tune.
Oh yeah,
it's nuts.
And then so yeah, there's a lot of crazy when the evil entity is attacking, shit gets crazy. Like when Kung Fu's out chopping wood, and then the wood starts fucking coming at her, and she's just like, "Fuck you, wood! I'm gonna da." Dude, Kung Fu is such a badass.
Kung Fu's the best.
And then she gets ripped in half, but she still kicks the shit out of the cat, which is amazing.
I know, isn't that nuts? Yeah, her bottom half is still fighting.
Yeah. But they're also when there's not crazy shit happening on screen, or not when there's not the evil entity attacking. Also, there's moments of really weird shit sticking out, kind of like the bucket thing you talked about. But when they were on the train, the train background becomes this cartoon rainbow thing, and then that was kind of trippy. Then they start looking at old photos, but they're actually looking at an old film reel.
And
that part confused me because it's you hear them narrating. It's they're watching the movie, but it's they're looking at in the scene. They have photos, I think.
They do,
but
yeah.
It
was
plays
cool.
like an old-timey movie, which honestly, that part's cool. The black and white movie where the husband goes to war.
It's very experimental, which is pretty cool. And then also another scene that kind of just stuck out to me as being weird, but I still kind of liked it, is I think Fantasy finds Mac's head, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in the well.
So when Fantasy is they were trying to console her. When they're trying to console her, I forget who, was it Professor or Sweet? Someone's looking at her with her left and right eye.
And that's probably Professor Prop.
And the camera's cutting left, right,
yeah.
left, right. I'm just like, oh, that's kind of, I don't know, like
I like that
totally,
trick.
like I don't know why you would even have that, like where that idea came from, just to have that in a movie or for that scene. But I think it's cool. It's just there's like a lot of fun little things I threw into the movie.
It totally made me think about the moments where whenever I have creative ambition in a certain scene of how to depict something and people questioning it, which people are entitled to their opinions and criticisms. But I can only imagine what the DP and their team is thinking, being like, okay, so now we're just going to move the camera here and get the same exact coverage. And then we're going to move it like 3 inches to the right and get the same coverage.
I know one thing. That DP smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I bet. In the very beginning, which this part always kind of makes me giggle, when Fantasy's dad first gets back, and she's like, "Oh, how was Italy?" He goes, "Oh, Leone said my music is better than Morricone's."
Yeah.
Morricone, is it? No, I'm sorry. Is it? Yeah, Sergio Leone is the director, and Ennio Morricone is the composer. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's like a fucking spaghetti western composer. Like, yeah, it's amazing.
The glowing piano keys, that was some fun rotoscoping. And then it made me think about how badly I want a MetaQuest 3 so that I can just play piano. Because apparently they have apps now that just like Guitar Hero style bring the keys you're supposed to play onto your screen. And so I'm like, fuck, I want to play piano.
Is MetaQuest that Apple?
No,
Vision?
That's the Apple Vision. The MetaQuest is the thing Meta, Facebook, whatever you want to call them, owns, where it's like a standalone headset.
Oh, okay.
Vision Pro is the same, but
is it a VR device?
Yeah, it's MR because it has mixed reality, so it also has augmented reality, which means like there's applications that interact with the real world, so you can kind of see through it.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually just announced the S3 or the 3S. Not to get off topic, but it's like $300, and I'm like, shit, like that's a decent buy-in, as opposed to the $3,000 price tag on the Vision Pro. But
Jesus Christ,
I'd be one of those guys who puts on the VR headset and runs through the front door, man. Because like I remember when like VR first started getting hot a few years ago. I kept seeing like videos of like it was mostly girls like playing with like Fruit Ninja and then just like running into walls. I would absolutely do that. So Matt, you watched this movie the first time. It took you on a ride, right? It was.
Dude,
I imagine you've never seen anything this insane.
Well, I've seen some wild stuff, but this one is consistently either cracking me up. Yeah, it's either consistently cracking me up like every 30 seconds, or it's like really keeping me on edge. And it's like it does something more. Usually this type of stuff would take me out of it, but because it's almost like expecting something weird and zany to happen, whether it's a film technique or these characters being oblivious, such as like this one cool shot where like it must have been after Mac disappeared, and in the wide shot you see the girls and one of them is pumping water or getting it from the sink, and as she looks away, water turns blood red and she starts
yeah,
like all these minute attentions to detail, like it's fascinating almost. I would probably watch this again like every Halloween if someone like reminded me of it.
I feel like this is a good movie to watch with like a group of people.
Absolutely, because you get something new every time.
Right, like you want to have like a couple of drinks, some food or whatever, and fucking watch it with your friends, because it's like you want to hear the reactions of everyone. You know what I mean?
Totally,
like,
it's like a pyramid scheme. You have to get someone new into it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, it's one of those films I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times, and every time I watch it, I catch something new. Like, actually, just another thing I learned from doing a little research. All the girls, they were all models. This was their first this is all their acting debuts, which I thought was cool. Which makes sense why they're so oblivious.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
It's pretty wild. It's also, and they were all teenagers.
Probably
16, 17. I read.
Yeah.
Wild.
So I do actually have some questions, Brian. Since this is kind of like I'm not saying you're a fan. You're a big fan of the movie. You've watched.
I've seen it the most times, which makes me the resident expert here.
So Gorgeous. Okay, so Gorgeous's auntie, she died some time ago, but her love is keeping her alive.
I thought either that, but they keep calling the cat a witch cat, so maybe she's still alive. She's just a witch. But like the fact that she's dead might make more sense because she's haunting her old mansion she lived in.
I think they said that she died a long time ago, and that she's the only thing keeping her alive is her love.
Maybe, yeah. I honestly, that part went over my head. But like, if she's dead, how come they're going to go visit her? You know what I mean?
From what I interpreted, it was her body didn't, or her body refused to die because it wanted. So maybe it's some metaphor on like lust to a degree, you know.
Oh, you know what's that old, like, I don't know if it's like a folktale, but I remember learning that in school where like the woman's husband goes off to sea in the Navy and never returns, and she keeps the lighthouse on for him. You know that tale? It's like some old like haunted tale. This is kind of similar. It definitely steals from that, I think.
You know,
I'm sure every culture has that.
Pokemon, the original first season, did a story based on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course, Matt knows. Of course, Matt knows the Pokemon episode where they fucking
Season 1. I got that shit down pat.
Yeah, Pokemon relates to everything.
And then also, so like again, I'm kind of just like trying to figure out shit in my own head. So Gorgeous's soul, after that, when her fucking face bursts into flames and her whole body bursts into flames, does her soul get like annihilated and her aunt takes over her body or soul or something like that?
That's what I think, because one of the last scene, or maybe the last scene, is the stepmom comes to visit, and she has Gorgeous has that green twinkle in her eye, kind of like the cat. So I imagine she's the new witch, and she will be taking over from here on out.
And then all of her friends are gonna eat the stepmom. She's like, they're all sleeping, but they'll wake up soon when they wake up when they're hungry.
When they're hungry, yeah. Now, you know, maybe it's going to be 7 witches. I don't. They never made a sequel, so who knows? It's kind of open to interpretation. But to me, it seems like Gorgeous is going to take over the house. You know?
Yeah, I think it's not even so much Gorgeous as it is her skin that's being worn by the ghost. You know,
by the ghost. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I think someone even says like, you're not Gorgeous anymore, or she's not the Gorgeous we knew, or
yeah.
When she comes down from taking that bath, she's a new person.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's the bath, and then she goes to the makeup mirror.
Yeah, her aunt's makeup room and powders her nose, and then her face falls off.
The vanity is what killed her.
Yeah.
The vanity.
The vanity, yeah.
Not vanity itself, the vanity, literally. The vanity fucking
vanity is what did it.
Yeah.
Just leave it to me as Kung Fu grabs the parasol while in the action. That was fun to me.
Does she float down? A parasol's the umbrella she floats with, right?
No, I think she just grabs it and then lets go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
It doesn't even. She does. It just comes to her hand or whatever. Like
I like when, dude. She's the coolest character in my opinion. She's just such a fucking badass. Although Professor is kind of cool too, because she's like figuring shit out on her own. But Kung Fu's getting strangled by the phone cord, and she just fucking kicks the shit out of the phone. Like
yeah. Every time she tries to kill her, she beats up.
I know. Like she sees like the ghost, and she's like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna fight a ghost. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, she fights a ghost. Yeah, she's
I'm ready.
with anybody. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the phone, so how did the teacher know to come out? I think I missed that part.
I think they were all planning on going there, and he got a bucket stuck to his ass, and then he's like, I gotta go to the hospital, and then I'll meet you guys.
There's that, but in the very beginning, when he's like, hey, we can't go to my cabin in the woods because my sister's mysteriously is about to have a baby. They're like, oh, can we all go to your aunt's place? And she's like, sure, let's go. So I think maybe that's how he finds out. But how the hell does he know to get there? Because if you recall, they have to take a train. They have to go through the woods. They have to cross over a rickety-ass bridge. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they have to get directions from a watermelon guy. So,
yeah.
And then the other part of the movie is like, well, the girls are getting munched on. The teacher, he gets stuck in traffic. He goes to a bar. His car breaks.
Noodles.
He gets some noodles.
Yeah. That's like a whole adventure.
Yeah.
And then he just turns into fucking bananas. Like, what
Yeah, he never
fuck?
even makes it to the damn doorway. He just turns into a bunch of bananas. It's which is why I love this movie so much, because like when else have you ever seen that? You know what I mean? That's like a thing that would happen in a Mario or a Diddy Kong cartoon or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a unique experience, man.
There's nothing quite like it. There's things that have probably been inspired by it, but like I can't really think of a movie like, oh, that's like House. You know what I mean? House is very much its own world. I think everyone should watch it, because it's like, usually I don't really like goofy off the wall stuff, but I love this movie because everything that happens that's like, not normal, for lack of a better word, is awesome, and you want to see more. And it's also short. It's only 88 minutes. It's not like it drags on. Because you can't make this movie that long. I think 88 minutes is a perfect cutoff.
Closing thoughts are, Brian, I appreciate you suggesting this movie, because this is definitely something that I would never watch on my own.
Oh, yeah. Someone has to introduce you to it, like a pyramid scheme.
It's just so fucking out there and wild, and it's crazy that it came out in 1977.
Yeah, very ahead of
Like-
its time.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think that they were making this kind of film then. So, yeah, I appreciate. It's like, Brian, I know you don't make short films or trying to make feature films like Matt or I do.
No,
But
As like, I don't want to call it whatever. As Matt and I are filmmakers, I guess you could say, it's good to familiarize yourself with something that you're not totally comfortable with or not totally like it would never be in your own wheelhouse.
absolutely. Yeah, you gotta add a spice every once in a while. You gotta check out something different.
We've lived many lives, you and I. We've seen things that most people could never understand.
Brian, are you familiar from one of the previous episodes? We did a little game called Movie Golf. So this is a fun little stupid movie trivia game that I came up with. Essentially, you get a line of dialogue, and you have to guess which movie it's from.
Ooh.
And you get a total of 5 hints. And if you can't figure it out by the 5th line, then you just get 6 by default. And I tell you the name of the movie.
Okay.
Since I have you, one of my favorite Star Wars buddies, I decided to make this Star Wars themed.
Ooh.
And
Are you fucking
we
kidding me?
Zach, you've seen Star
I
Wars.
like don't
movies,
know
you'll
any
get
of this. I know the Star Wars movies, but I do not know the Star Wars movies. I'm not like a
Well,
huge
don't
fan.
worry.
You sit back. You'll be the caddy. Go dust off my 9 iron for me. Make yourself useful.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good.
So it's line of dialogue, it's an actor, and then the next category is how many lightsaber duels were in the film.
Oh my god.
Then it's year release, director, and then the name of the movie. So the first line of dialogue for the first movie of 6 movies is I have a bad feeling about this.
It's Han Solo. It's in The Empire Strikes Back, and I believe it's in the asteroid field. And it came out in 1981.
You could just say the movie.
Oh,
Yeah, just say the movie.
so Empire Strikes Back.
Not this one. No, Zach, do you have a guess as well?
The Force Awakens.
No, that is not correct.
fuck you,
however, the next trivia line is Harrison Ford did say this line.
Okay.
So, anyone want to take a guess?
A New Hope.
Boom, you got it.
Okay, 2 strokes. Not bad.
Danny.
Matt,
All
this
right.
Wait,
game,
what scene is it? What is it when they're getting sucked in with the tractor beam?
Yeah, no, this is in the trash compactor. However, Luke does say I have a very bad feeling about this right before they're getting sucked into the tractor beam.
Okay, all right.
All right, so Ruben, you have 2. Zach, you have 6.
This is bullshit. This game is fucking Star
Moving
Wars
on.
edition. Like, are you fucking kidding? What, Star Wars? Like, save it for at least like 4th of July. Like, what is it? May the 4th. At least save it for May the 4th. Fucking, it's spooky season. Do horror movies. Do something relevant to House. All right, it's fine. Go ahead.
I did consider saving this till May, but then I was like, what if we never get that far? I wanna at least get this out, and I have a good Star Wars trivia contestant here. So the next quote to the next movie is, "I have a bad feeling about this."
The Force Awakens.
A New Hope.
A new, no,
They're getting
it's not
sucked
the
into
same
the
movie.
tractor beam. They must say this, I guess, a bunch of times in Star Wars.
In every movie, they fucking say it.
Yeah. Okay, so both of you did not get it. The character, the actor that does say it this time is Carrie Fisher.
She said it when she was on the American Airlines flight that she died on.
Oh my god. Jesus, dude. Wow.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with once again Empire Strikes Back when they're in the asteroid field.
Oh wow, you got it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm a 2-stroker over here, boys. Pay attention.
2-stroker.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack.
Next movie quote is, "I have a bad feeling about this." You want to take a stab at which movie that is?
Force Awakens.
No.
I'm gonna say Return of the Jedi.
Nope. Okay. The actor that says it this time is Ewan McGregor.
Phantom Menace.
Ruben, what's your guess?
I was also gonna say Phantom Menace when they're
All right,
underwater.
you're both wrong. It was not Phantom Menace. The number of lightsaber duels in this are 2.
It's Attack of the Clones.
Boom, you got it.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, see, I had a little trouble getting out of the roughs over there, and damn if I didn't accidentally shoot myself with a poison-tipped crossbow dart.
God, Zach's hair's gonna fall out.
I'm having a blast. He's gonna get me back eventually.
I'm gonna do all like Terminator IPs for the next
There you
round.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a quote that Terminator uses all the time? I don't think there
Yeah,
is.
come with me if you want to live.
Oh yeah.
Or I'll be back.
I need
Yeah.
your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. I could do this all day.
Sure. All right, next movie.
I need to fuck your housewife. Oh, that was just. Never mind. Sorry.
No, that was Arnold in real life.
Oh yeah, my bad. I need to have a kid out of wedlock. Oh, sorry. That's Arnold and Dave Grohl. Okay, go on.
All right, I have a bad
not just
feeling
them.
about this.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot more. I have a bad feeling about this.
I'm gonna say Revenge of the Sith.
Hey, you got it.
Get the fuck. You just. Hey.
It's the only one we haven't said yet.
No, there's a bunch of other movies.
There
Are
are
we
a bunch
counting
of
those
other
fucking
movies.
the last two that came out that suck? Because I don't remember any of those.
There's also the Han Solo movie.
Well, Han
haven't
Solo,
seen-
they say I have a very good feeling about this.
And there's there's also the Rogue One.
Rogue One was good,
Yeah.
but I don't
like it.
remember any of the dialogue.
I like
They also
Rogue One
stayed a
lot.
bunch in the Clone Wars shows and other shows.
You better not have the Clone Wars shows
Was
in
in
here.
here.
Now
this
me
is
or
just
Zach have
movies.
watched that.
This is just
Yeah,
movies.
you got to stick to movies, not TV
Yeah,
shows. At least.
exactly. So next one, movie 5 of 6. Here we go. I have a bad feeling about this.
Rise of the Skywalker.
No, Zach.
The Last Jedi.
No, you both were wrong. Okay, so two different people say this, so it's either you could either say Anthony Daniels says it or Harrison Ford says it.
I don't know who the hell Anthony Daniels is.
Solo.
Star Wars story. Han Solo movie.
Ruben, what's your vote?
I don't know who the fuck is Anthony Daniels.
C-3PO.
Oh,
Oh, I thought that was the guy who played young Han Solo. God damn it!
what's the Empire Strikes Back?
No, we both are wrong. We already did Empire Strikes Back.
It doesn't matter. They still say it. Empire Strikes Back.
How many stupid fucking lightsaber battles are in this?
One, just one.
Oh, that's A New Hope.
Zach,
A New Hope.
you're both wrong.
Oh, I don't know.
We already said New Hope.
Oh, fuck.
They
Okay.
say this multiple times. A New Hope.
We can't repeat movies. We're not repeating movies, you're saying?
We're not
I
repeating.
don't
movies.
remember the rest.
Okay,
of
let's get us another guess. We get another guess.
Well, no. I'm giving you guys the year.
All
it
right.
came out. 1983.
Return of the Jedi.
There you go.
Dad, oh, he got all of that one. He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here.
Guys, did you know today's International Lobster Day?
And it's also Last of Us Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, is today the day of the outbreak?
Yep.
Honestly,
Nice, dude.
yeah, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a franchise worth giving like a date to, like Star Wars, just because it doesn't have enough IP. But like its IP isn't big enough for that.
Not as big as Star Wars, but you're full of shit, man.
Look,
Please continue
I
with
love
your
The Last of Us.
Stupid
but-
Star Wars trivia. You may speak now.
I love The Last of Us.
I do too, but anyways.
Great
Last
series.
movie, good quote. I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't remember any more movies now. Do they say it in Rogue One?
That's your guess, Rogue One. Zach, what do you got?
Rise of Skywalker.
All right, you're both wrong. Actor, Ewan McGregor.
Phantom Menace.
Zach got it.
Yeah, motherfucker!
It's about time you finally got one.
I got one before as well.
There's a force in the universe that makes things happen.
Zach got 24.
Now remember, in golf, more strokes is bad, Zach.
I'm aware. I know.
Brian, you got 22.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Well, he knows Star Wars like a fucking savant.
I know.
No, Matt knows it like a savant.
I'm somewhat familiar. Yeah.
Can we compliment Matt on having, at this particular instance, he has the best hair out of all of us, which is usually not the case.
And
No,
this is bad hair.
Matt's hair has been on point for the last.
It's dude. I
years.
remember years and years ago. It was 15 years at this point. Wait, no, it's like 2007 or 8. So carry the 1. 15. Anyway, the point was, it's been some time. Like, we couldn't even get this guy to put jeans on. Like, we made him try on jeans, and he acted like a fucking rape victim. Yeah, like we all had like an intervention in the kitchen, and like, Matt, try these jeans on. He's like, I and like we like wouldn't let him leave. Like, Matt, you march into that bathroom, put these goddamn jeans on, and he did it. Like, Matt, you look okay with the jeans on.
Not the cargo pants.
Well, he used to do double stacked cargo. Like, cargo pants are fine, I guess, if you're going on safari. But he had the cargo pants that had like 1 cargo pocket and then a lower cargo pocket, making it 4 cargo pockets total.
Yeah.
If I didn't have at least 8 pockets on me at all time, I was a waste as a human. That's that
mindset that ruins people.
Yeah, that exact mindset.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Why do you keep getting up? What the fuck?
I'm thirsty, dude.
Just sit still. Jesus Christ.
I don't sit still.
I'm well aware.
I'm a little wanderer.
You're a little gremlin.
Yo, you know what? We should do Gremlins for another Halloween special.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Actually, what we should do is Gremlins 2, because
Yeah.
Gremlins 2 has, for my money, the greatest cameo of all time when they go get Hulk Hogan out of his seat and he's in the movie theater, full ring gear with the belt, and he cuts a promo on the Gremlins and they put Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs back on.
You know what I realized recently?
I fucking love them.
I fucking rewatched it recently, first time in decades, and apparently, the second one, and apparently the moment where they break the fourth wall and the movie collapses or whatever, and of itself,
like the real.
There's 2 different versions of that whole segment. Ooh. So when I grew up, I only saw it on VHS as a kid, and it's like a totally different thing where it's like the TV channels change. But
that makes sense. That's kind of cool to do.
Cool. I don't remember that movie at all, so I'd love to rewatch it.
It was insane because once the movie theater location popped up, I was like, I feel like I was getting Mandela'd. Like, that's what
that's crazy. Wow.
I don't understand the fucking I remember clear that Mandela didn't die in fucking prison. Like, I remember he became famous because he was in prison for so long. So I don't know why people.
I don't think it has anything to do with Nelson Mandela.
That's what it comes from. They think Nelson Mandela died in prison.
Who does? That's not true.
A bunch of fucking. That's why the Mandela effect is fucking stupid, because because Nelson Mandela didn't die in prison. He became the fucking prime minister of wherever
of Africa.
Of Africa. He didn't fucking die in prison. Like, oh, everyone thinks he died in prison. Like, that's.
I've never met anyone who said that. I've always associated with people think Sinbad was in a genie movie, and the Berenstein Bears were the Bernstein Bears.
That's the common one, but the name Mandela effect comes from Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I could see that, but I get it. It doesn't make sense at all.
I forgot to mention this earlier, but we just had our 5th Breakneck film race.
Breakneck 5.
Breakneck 5, a week before recording this. And it actually was our best one yet. We had 8 people that made films, and I want to just give a shout out to each of them real fast. Well, you obviously, Zach, myself, and I had them all written down.
You give shout outs to you and Zach right off the rip, huh?
Steve Craig made an amazing film.
Of course.
Alex Arleo made an amazing film. Dreams and Schemes
made an amazing
a filmmaking team that we met in Sundance. 2 young filmmakers.
Joseph Amendolia, is that how you pronounce it?
Sure.
And Alex Leftwich, who didn't make it to the watch party, but
Lefty?
And Darren.
Leftwich made a film, yeah.
Like, from our town?
Yeah.
Wow.
Darren's film. Did you see it yet, Ruben? We got to send it to you.
I started to watch Alex's, and I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not watching this shit.
Darren's is fun.
Jesus, you're such a dick, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm not into it.
Have you watched any? They're 5 minutes long.
Dude, I've watched I've never completed one. I've never watched a full one. I've watched like a minute of one that you sent me, and then I'm like, this is stupid. I can't do it. And then I watched a little bit of Alex's because like I saw that she linked it. I'm like, I can't do this shit.
Well, on that note, thank you all for making those films.
This
Brian
is the first
really
and last time I'll
if you ever have a child, Dad, look at my macaroni art. You're like, this is garbage, you fucking little turd.
Yeah, because I would want my son to make something good that you can't give everyone participation trophies. I don't want him to think it's fucking stupid.
You haven't even watched the fucking movie, so you don't know if they're good or not. You can't.
Hell, it was like 8 seconds of watching a movie, dude. All right, send me a link to your stupid fucking movie. I'll tell you what I think. Go ahead, send me a link if you think it's so good.
All right.
I'll fucking watch this stupid. I'll try and sit through this hunk of shit and see if it's pretty good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Rubin. I'm excited to do the next one with you guys sometime maybe November or December. Once the official date is slated, it will be announced on this podcast. But until then, thanks for listening in with us and enjoying the really weird movie called House.
House-o!
Thank you for enjoying Brian Rubin's company here as he recommended this film. And thanks for watching.
And let it be noted that we had to stop recording the beginning of the podcast because Brian farted and realized he had a shit. Then he went into the bathroom to take a shit while still on the microphone with us. So there you go.
Anything important? Yeah. Listen. I show up and I stick it out, guys.
It's true. He did. Thank you.